Swahili, also known as Kiswahili, is spoken in Eastern and Central Africa.
Kiswahili is one of the fastest growing languages in Africa. Spoken in Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, DR Congo, Somalia, parts of Malawi, northeastern Zambia, the Comoros, and in some parts of the newly born Republic of South Sudan, by more than 200 million people. Besides, Kiswahili is the only African language utilized in the daily transactions of the African Union. It does say more.
Swahili is speedily gaining momentum to become eventually the language of the continent of Africa. There is no other pan-continental language that I know of.
It is now a general view that Africa has the potential over the next decade to outperform all other emerging markets and more developed economies. Africa has abundant natural resources and specific environmental conditions that will create a core supply of goods to economies and markets around the world. Even China is already strategically looking into Africa for the supply of natural resources as well as markets.
My name is Mwalimu Alwia. Welcome to the Swahili Flagship Center at IU. The Flagship Center here is funded by the Language Flagship.
Language courses linked to the student's field of study and smaller class sizes. One-on-one language partners.
Summer intensive classes domestically and abroad.
Study at the State University of Zanzibar.
Internship using the language, superior level of proficiency.
The difference between regular Swahili classes and the Swahili Flagship program is that in the Flagship program, students have a more tailored approach to their language learning. They're paired specifically with language partners who are versed in their major area of study. Taking the Swahili Flagship program, students get language training in their area of study specifically to meet their needs. The requirements for joining a flagship program are fairly flexible for the students. You can be of any major with NIU. It could be finance, it could be fine arts, it could be geography, anything. You have to take Swahili classes in addition to your major classes, and we tailor all of the language learning to your particular major.
Students will be given all the resources that they will be able in 4 years to be highly proficient, that they'll be like near native speakers in their proficiency. It's very important for the student to want to learn the language and continue with it, to be highly committed and highly motivated, and at the same time have fun with the language. Then they get to go to study abroad in Zanzibar, Tanzania, at the State University of Zanzibar. And there, they'll get immersed. They'll do an intensive summer program. They'll do a year-long academic year program, taking Swahili classes or taking other content courses together with students from Zanzibar and staying with host families. They'll also do an internship in their field of study using the language. And that kind of immersion will enable them to get up to the desired goal of higher level of proficiency.
What do we expect flagship students to get out of the program? We expect them to be proficient at the Swahili language and culture. It's for that purpose that we immerse them in the Swahili language and culture.
The Swahili Flagship program allows students to study at the State University of Zanzibar, SUZA, for 1 year, offers a singular opportunity for the students to learn our culture and to create connections and networks. Such networks, created so early in adulthood, are long-lasting and can be used to create the future we want, building global relations and wealth networking, promoting sustainable development, developing political and trade relations, as well as enhancing global peace and security.
I think it's nice too because you get to understand the cultures, different cultures from different people from different places. You have like that one-on-one understanding of exactly what it's like. It's not this by the book thing where you have to read it and you don't really get to understand it, but you talk to them and you really get to understand exactly where they come from.
Flagship is definitely somewhat of a challenge in a good way. The classes are smaller and more focused even than the normal Swahili courses. So you get the attention you might need. And I have the Swahili tutor and there's conversation sessions, so there's always people available to help me out with it.
Flagship has camaraderie that happens, I think. You get to be around these people so often because you're studying with them and developing so quickly, and you develop this bond with these people and it's like family almost, like immediately. I think if you're in a different program, you don't get those opportunities. I think what I'm most excited about overseas study is just to be able to just be there, I think, and just dedicate a year of myself to that. It's not like a summer program, it's not like a semester, it's a full year.
I learned a lot more about the culture in Zanzibar by actually being, immersed in it than I would have here in the United States. By living with host families, you have more opportunities to be involved with or engage with the culture. It's a really fun environment. You can learn so much from the family.
Without the flagship, my language would not nearly be where it is.